Okay, thank you. I'd like to call the meeting to order of the City of Monona Plan Commission, Monday, September 28th, 2020. Would Doug please call the roll?
Chair Moore.
Here.
Alder Goforth.
Here.
Mr. Peterson.
Here.
Mr. Holmquist.
Here.
Ms. Fallat.
Here.
Ms. Fox.
Here.
Mr. Homburg.
Here.
Mr. Stein.
Here.
Okay, so before we go ahead and approve the minutes from September 14th, if you are here because of the application at 9:15 FemRight, we just learned late this afternoon that the applicant has withdrawn their interest in the property, so we will not be discussing that this evening. So if you came because you wanted to speak on that particular proposal or application, I should say, you needn't feel like you're welcome to stay through the meeting if you like. You're welcome to speak if you like.
You just leave. Thank you.
Still welcome, but you don't have to stay if you don't want to. We will not be addressing that application this evening. Okay. With that, I'd like to call for a motion to approve the minutes of September 14th.
Move approval.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Great. Any corrections, additions, changes? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
The minutes are carried. Is there anyone else here that would like to make an appearance this evening? This is the time to speak up if you're here to make an appearance that's not on the agenda. Or that is on the agenda, but you're not scheduled to actually participate in the pre-hearing conference. Okay? We'll close the appearance section. There is no unfinished business. We'll move right to new business, number 6C, pre-hearing conference for a rezoning request and map amendment from public facilities. Monona Municipal Code of Ordinances, section 480-32 to single family residence district. Monona Municipal Code of Ordinances, section 480-24. At 611 Clear Spring Court as requested by Ralph and Carrie Bradley. Case number 2-014-2020. Bradley's, I'm assuming that you may be here to speak on this request?
Ralph is here. Carrie couldn't make it tonight.
Great.
And I'm Leonard Piontek. I'm their real estate agent.
Okay, great. Whichever one of you would like to speak first is fine with us.
Okay. So my wife and I have recently purchased the property in question. We found out as we were going through the purchase that it is a little bit of a surprise to us, but it was not zoned as residential. We have plans to develop the property. That would include building a new house on the lot, taking out the house that is there. It's really beyond repair and past its useful life. Putting in a new house on the lot are our plans. And first step in that is to get this rezoned as residential.
Okay, thank you. Leonard, would you like to say anything?
Well, the purpose of course, is to have it, the zoning turned back into residential for this project. The home that is existing there, I believe, is about 125 years old. I believe if you look at the documentation that Bradleys have provided, they intend on retaining a 3-car garage, detached garage that is already on the site. That was built, I believe, 24 years ago. And the new house would be about 2,100 square feet is what they're proposing for that site. And of course, the survey was completed last week, so we have an up-to-date survey on the property also. The proximity of the new structure would be similar to the location of the current property. The builder will have to determine exact footprint on how best to situate it on the lot, but that's the intent for the Bradleys and how they want to proceed with this. So the first step, of course, is to have it zoned properly for this project and proceed with then obtaining a demolition permit after we have it, if the zoning is approved.
Thank you. Doug, do you want to go ahead and share anything?
Yes, thank you. I can just add a little bit more to this. So I've been working with the applicants on this request. We, when the call came through as to kind of the steps needed to get the building permit, I pulled the zoning up and noticed that it is currently zoned public facilities. I did speak with city staff, public works and other departments to just try and get to the bottom of if there was a reason or sort of a historical reasoning for this. They were not aware of one, so you can see included in the packet was the existing zoning map as well as the future land use plan, or the future land use map from the 2016 comp plan. In that, you will see that this particular parcel is zoned or planned and sort of foreseen to be residential in the future. The adjacent uses, everything that is developed around it is single family residential. There, of course, is the park on one face and one side of the lot. But, in terms of the future land use, that was kind of the vision for it. In speaking with the applicant, they are eager to begin the process. I did outline the hearing process, the class 2 notice that would be needed and such. But with the fact that we had the meeting on the books tonight, they chose to try and come through for a pre-hearing just to at least get some initial feedback from the commission, recognizing there's still, the formal process, both planning commission and council, that this would need to go through. Just in terms of the design and kind of the layouts, it looks to be in keeping, with the adjacent uses and fit in pretty well. I have also shared with the applicant the challenge here of the shape of the lot. It may possibly mean that they need a variance as well, just depending upon where it's sited and how the setbacks work out. But those things would be sort of after a potential rezoning request.
Thank you. I'm going to move from left to right on my screen. Christy?
Yeah, I went down and looked at that last night, and yeah, that is a skinny little house you have there right now. I bet that's really challenging to work in. I think your plan, from what I see here, looks great. I think it seems like a great fit for that neighborhood. I would be in support of with the information I have right now.
Rob?
Thank you.
Given the findings of by city staff, having no real reason for this being public facilities, be surrounded by single family, I think it's very appropriate.
Right. Coreen?
Yeah, I don't have anything else to add, except if I did have a question. Just if the house is that old, was this a part of a farm, or, I'm just curious about the location next to the park. Is that why the land was divided the way it was?
I actually, I mean, through city records, I'm not too sure. I don't believe that it's not a landmark property or anything like that, but I don't know.
Okay.
I'd have to go back and look at the plat map. In terms of the shape of the lot, I can only guess that maybe the curve there was sort of how the street was initially, and then the park, the addition of the parks changed that shape. But that would just be my guess at this time.
Yeah. But I don't have concerns about it.
Josh?
Likewise, it seems like it's an appropriate use, and I think it'll be a nice addition to the neighborhood.
Okay, great. Susan?
Nothing to add that hasn't already been said, really. I think it's great. It seemed odd to me that it wasn't zoned residential in the first place, so it makes sense to me. I mean, it's an odd piece to have added onto that park. That doesn't make any sense. The fact that there's always been a house there, it makes perfect sense to me. Looks like an improvement.
Okay, great. Chris?
Yeah, when we redid the comprehensive plan, we redid our zoning map. I think it was 16. We went through some of the areas that were slated to change a little bit, redevelopment. And then we also tried to catch the areas that were just improperly zoned. And this is one of them. That's why if you look at the future zoning map, it shows that as R1 residential.
Okay,
And the existing use is shown as R1 residential. For whatever reason, when an old zoning map got made, I'm not sure, I don't know the history on it, but it was zoned public facility. Obviously it's not. I know the Emerys lived there 50 years?
75 years, I believe.
Wow.
75? I know I've been around Monona since 52 years, and I know they always lived there then.
Yes, you're correct.
So I think, I don't know, but I think what happens when we did all this, we weren't going to go through all the public hearings and all the meetings and send the city council to change one or two little parcels that are on there. We thought sometime when there's a zoning change that goes on and goes to city council, we clean up these little areas.
okay.
And I believe this is one of those little areas that everybody at the time, and sounds like everybody now agrees, should be zoned appropriately. It's not zoned properly for what's there.
Okay,
in use.
great. Thank you, Chris. Brian, do you have anything to add?
Yeah. Nope. Chris had a great summary of our previous discussions on this. Looks
Okay,
good.
okay. Sounds good. Unless there's any other comments as it relates to this pre-hearing conference, I think you've gotten the feedback you need from this group. And I wish you well with your planning.
I appreciate that very much. Thank you all.
Sure,
Thank you.
We look forward to having that done and adding to the neighborhood.
great. Thank you.
And I'll just add, if I may, that with timing, noticing, and things, that'll be scheduled for the Plan Commission meeting on October 26th, with the subsequent recommendation to council thereafter.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doug.
Thanks.
That takes us to reports of staff and commission members.
Yes, so upcoming meetings, upcoming items. Today, I did receive the stormwater calculations from Pelletary. So we're going to work with Strand Associates to review those materials. So that is going to be moving forward for the October 12th meeting. They just couldn't turn it around quick enough for this one, but that'll be on for October 12th. And then we will, since this agenda was written, we will have that 611 Clear Spring item on October 26th as well. So there may be a couple of zoning permits here and there moving through as well, which can kind of slot in with these as well.
Okay, great. Any other requests or from the commission? Yes, Chris.
Two, Doug Pelletary is resubmitting stormwater, but are they also addressing some other issues like buffers and setbacks and landscaping, some other things we discussed?
Yes, it's a much more extensive application.
Terrific, thank you. And then one thing I noticed over at McDonald's when they got their latest approval, a condition of approval was that fence on the north side. The neighbors that lived there and the bordering property are pretty adamant about that. I see parts of it coming down. I don't know if that's to fix it up or if they're thinking they're going to take it down, but it'd just be nice to let them know that was a condition of approval to have that fence between the properties. They did not want people and kids cutting from McDonald's across through that parking lot. It's a little dangerous, and that's why that fence was put there and this buffer to the residential uses there.
And that's the 4,000 block of Monona Drive. It's that McDonald's.
That's a question, I think, Chris.
Yeah, I think you froze up.
Froze.
I think the answer is yes. I noticed the same.
Okay, thanks.
Right. Anything else? So if I know there's a few other people, again, left here on the screen tonight, and in case you were here for the application that we had for 915 Femrite, that application was withdrawn very late this afternoon for consideration. So we are not considering that tonight, which is why, and just in case you feel like you missed out, it wasn't discussed, the applicant withdrew their application. So thanks for listening in regardless, if you're here for that reason. With that, I believe I can entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll
I'll
move.
move to.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Great. All those in favor say aye.
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 Great, thanks very much.
See you guys.
Bye, everyone.
Be warm.
Yeah, have a good night.